Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Paridhi Sharma from MIT ID Indore Avantika University. I'm the manager admissions handling outreach and admissions both. So today here we are for a webinar with Suhas Bendre sir and Pramod Riswadkar sir on the very booming topic in the industry right now, which is digital experience design. So I'll tell you about a small introduction about Suhas sir and the topic we are covering for the day. So digital experience design is a broad term that covers everything from a neat and clean user interface to the overall customer experience a user receives. The essential elements of digital experience design include user interface, user experience design, and customer design. Suhas sir will be elaborating you about the topic. Let me give a small introduction about him. Suhas Bendre, one of the pioneer in digital design space with 30 years of experience in leading strategic digital experience design across channels, data lead visualization, video and animation, social media, and immersive experience transformation for Fortune 500 clients across industry and geography. He leads the experience design practice with LTI Mindtree. He is responsible for promoting creative excellence, developing cross-functional creative teams, and nurturing a culture of creative and experience innovation with equally strong ecosystem of various industry, platform, and front-end engineering teams. He is the pioneer in technology-led experience transformation expert. Suhas Bendre, Bachelor of Applied Arts, is a visionary for academics and industry collaboration. Currently heading the experience design practice, collaborating across global studios to deliver user experience services across the various user segments. He is also responsible for hiring, mentoring, and training his team to be ready to take on any new industry challenges, newer tools, process, frameworks, methodology, and domain understanding to help adapt to the industry evaluations. As it's moving towards data-driven design, platform experiences, voice, and AR/VR meta. Welcome, Suhas sir and Pramod sir. So I'll give you a small introduction about Pramod sir also. He is the Pro Vice Chancellor of the university. Professor Pramod Riswadkar has 25 plus years of professional experience that spans across user experience design, consultancy and education, e-learning design, multimedia design, publication design, and advertising. It involved working for multinational organizations in varying capacity like designer, manager, consultant, and educator in corporate as well as academic space. He was associated with multiple academic campuses, corporate houses, as well as communities with purpose. He loves to be involved in startup ecosystems to convert ideas and experiments into professional ventures. He has been engaged in the education space in various capacities: faculty member, HOD, program head, associate dean, academic affairs, head UX Academy. Besides being a visiting faculty, jury member, and board of studies at various design, management, and architecture institutes. He enjoys every aspect of learner enrichment for counseling to selection to facilitation to corporate connections to placement. He has built high-performance academic functions in various organizations and find it a very rewarding experience to groom young talent. The partial list of organizations he worked with include Learning by Deloitte Consulting, Symbiosis Institute of Design, MITID, Symbiosis Institute of Design, Infosys, Persistent Systems, and RV University. A passionate designer, educator, and consultant who prefers to strike a balance between critical and creative thinking, as well as doing with emphasis on functional aesthetics. We find it very enriching to engage in various design activities, ranging from strategic vision to tactical delivery. So this is the small introduction about Suhas sir and Pramod sir. Welcome on board, both of you, sir. And now we can start with Suhas sir's session. And guys, you can ask questions in between. We can take few questions in between also.
Hey, hi, good afternoon,
Over to
everyone.
you, sir.
I guess we already have a hands raised by Arja Chakraborty. So I think quite inquisitive crowd that we have on this meeting. Any question, Arya, you wanted to ask before we get started?
Right now, we
I
could
think
not see any questions.
I think she has raised her hand, so I said no worries.
Sanskriti,
Okay,
yeah, she's ready.
yeah, no worries, no worries. I think very good afternoon, and thanks a lot for you all taking out time to listen to what it is means for you. And also, one more thing you have picked up is the thread of user experience as a career path, a potential career path. Really, it needs the courage to do that, but you have to have that differentiator factor to consider design as a career. It's such a unique proposition that you come from. Really help us drive those conversations with the customers. And I guess here I'm representing the industry, working with the education forum to see what is the potential of user experience, experience design, customer experience, what it means to people. I guess it's a very standard define. But it's not a generic skill. It has a science behind it. It has a logic behind it. It needs a lot of research. It needs a lot of empathy towards problem solving. I guess we like to have more of a question answer session. We want to make it more interactive for us to understand what's going on in your mind. And me as an industry practitioner, Pramod sir as an industry practitioner plus an academician, would able to address your queries, your parents' queries, if any, to drive those conversations forward. Here we are facilitating you to take the right decision and help achieve the best in class, I can say, career and also futuristic professional track they have to pursue post your current graduation. I assume all of you who are on the call have done your bachelor's degree in various streams and now want to go for masters. And then we can take those necessary questions on how we can achieve those objectives in the short span of time. To tell you a brief about me, I have 30 years of experience. I think you're not even there. I guess you are born digital, guys, right? You are all born digital. You are all born with mobiles in your hands. You are having mobile technology being used very frequently around you. So you know the nuances of how it has been used in your day-to-day life, and it's going to be like an indispensable, I can say, a channel, or it can be a variable for you, right? Need to have a cell phone in your hand because everything and anything that you do on the go in terms of business transaction, your communication, your marketing aspects, learning, watching movies, listening to music, all those facets can be done through your mobile device. The evolution of that has happened because designers were there on the forefront, understanding the problems that people faced and how the technologies evolved for us to address them, where this career profession of user experience plays an important role. Everywhere there is a structure, there is a process to follow. There are blueprints, then there is a foundational structure, and then there is a building that gets constructed on. So likewise, user experience or interaction design or design in itself is I can say is based on a very strong foundation pillars. It has its own principles, it has its own laws that really makes it successful. And I've been practicing that for 30 years. Pramod sir is also practicing for 30 years. And we have seen this industry grow. And I guess that it's going to be a unique proposition because design is one thing which really can help you adapt to any of the industry segments as such. It need not be only the digital touch point. It can be offline as well. It can be phygital also, or it can be 100% digital, right? Everything and anything that you get into the ecosystem needs a design. It needs aesthetic. It needs a reason to be there for a type of a person to make it happen. But then it's not only about consumer, right? Everybody invests in building a new product or a service for a reason. So there are business objectives to achieve through those products designs that have been developed, and then how we take it to the market. And also there are now, if you say talk about the technology part of it, it also is evolving over a period of time. And then design is still stands tall to ensure that we deliver those experiences across the technology, which is ever evolving. And we have to keep on learning new things as technology evolves every 6 months. We have to upgrade ourselves to be staying current. So design is a good career path to be in so that you keep yourself great self challenged. We have to challenge our right brains to make things work. Left brain is anyways for your business logic, technical part of it. For creative, empathy, sociology, your right brain needs to be activated. So we help you use your right brain to balance it out and deliver the solutions. I guess, Pramod, you want to add anything?
No, I think well, it's a evolving and promising profession, and hence the academic program. Evolving in last 2-3 decades, and I'll say design at large is having a very promising career choices, but more importantly, I'll say UX design and maybe a UI design being subset of it is also very good choice to explore.
Pramod, is your network issue or my network an issue?
Am I audible?
You are breaking in between. You're
Okay.
breaking in
Yeah.
between.
Okay. Yeah, could be the network issue.
Okay.
Okay. Let me enable my data also.
I also keep my data active now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, you're audible, sir.
Great. So can we start with some questions or concerns what they have? Okay, rather than we making it a very structured thing. Okay, we would like to understand what is the curiosity
Yes.
uh, in
So
this
I have
minute.
few questions
Okay.
from the students who have already registered. I'll just have those questions first. What are the scopes of a designer in this era where AI is taking over?
What is the? Can you repeat that?
What are the scopes of a designer in this era where AI is taking over?
It's a very, very common, and I guess even our customers are asking us this question, right? So it's not about you
Yeah.
guys. So see, AI will help you arrive at a logical reasoning for it. It might give you multiple options which are close to your decision, but decision making is all in your human's hand, right? And you have to have those human hand. You have to have use your graces to take a decision in terms of what is means for your business, what it means for your customers, what it means you want to continue for next few years. And I can still say that AI is been used still as a post production, or I can say is still maturing to a scale where business decisions are yet to be taken. But yes, everybody is focusing on data. Everybody is trying to capture the data, and they are trying to make sense of the lakhs, and I can say lakhs is very old term. I can say millions of records that are generated through all your interaction that happens on the digital touch points as well as your offline touch point. You never not even realize it. So data is going to help us take decisions. Data is going to help us evolve better, and AI is going to help us do the closest, best possible option for your product or your service going forward. So definitely from a designer standpoint is going to be important for us to understand what does data means for a given segment and what it means when it's been put to action or it's been processed further to derive insightful results, because the data will throw you some patterns, like if a business is going good or there is some behavioral pattern or the way people interact with the system is changing. That insights have been taken by the technology guys, that's taken by the business users to understand what can be done to avoid if there's a dip, what can be done to avoid the dip. It can be a technology issue, it can be an experience issue, it can be a perception issue, or it can be the domain where we are applying to this topic may not be relevant. So there are various facets. So AI will help us look at various facets and take a appropriate decision, but decision making will be again part of us. AI won't give you empathy. It's going to be very, I can say, practical, direct, raw information. But the where there is a empathy required, where there is a human intervention required, where there is a, I can say, a psychologically influencing decisions making is happening, where design is going to play a critical role. Even if you look at a brand, its values, its colors, its palettes, its textures, its iconography, fonts, these are all visual aspects which only a human can interpret and connect with it to make sense and what we say to build that bond. AI will not build that bond. They will understand a pattern. They will understand a recognition in terms of, okay, XYZ. You can say Pramod sir and Pardi looks at business, or I can say a career of design in this particular form. Then would people like Pramod and Pardi would be interested in doing design? Then they will push design as a information to you to get attracted and promote you well. So AI is definitely going to help you take decisions, but will not take decisions for you. The moment it starts taking decision for you, your job and my job is done. If you remember, Meta had developed some algorithm. They stopped it because started taking control of building our own language interactions, which is dangerous. But then there are put up some security protocols are in place. There are a lot of I can say rules and regulations, compliance put in place by various government entities as well as the big top giants in IT tech to control what AI can do, what AI cannot do. And plus, AI has information which is proprietary. It cannot be made available for public. So there are nuances that are still evolving. So don't worry about it. It will still take time to mature to become commercially viable. Currently being used for internal processing, understanding, and validating. But yes, it's eventually going to come up the ladder. But then as we evolved the AI as a pattern or the industry, designers would also move up the ladder in terms of consuming it to deliver better experiences. So don't worry about it. Things will evolve and we will also evolve. You can imagine when I started my career, nobody had computers at home. Nobody had phones. But then business was still happening. Now computers are in everybody's hands. Business is still happening. And tomorrow, if AI comes in, it will be handy for you to take decisions faster and efficient. So we will also evolve. Pramod, you want to add?
Yeah, I think it is a hyper reaction to this development, okay, AI. And the way I often say is, no, maybe because of social media pre-existing when this whole AI thing came, it has blown out of proportion. Okay, I'll say we have seen a lot of such transformations happening earlier also, but there was no hyper reaction because people were not so well connected as much as we are connected today. And again, I'll say this kind of hyper reaction is not only in the field of design. I'll say every walk of life we are seeing it. So we need not worry. The way we can look at it is not the positives which may emerge from it. Okay, so we can look at it, maybe it can be a very good assistant to us, you know. So that's one way to look at it. At base, it can be our very good companion, okay, in whatever that we want to contribute or create. Okay, that's the thing. Right now, we are seeing that whether it will replace us or, as Suhas said, maybe with this meta thing, whether it will dictate us. Okay, I think we are little hyper. I'll say reacting to it. Okay,
Reacting.
And there are so many things. You know, maybe at some point of time, industrialization happened. You can maybe something which was done by the people completely in their individual skill or capacity was taken over by machines. Maybe then we have seen few century down the line happening with computers. Now we are seeing it happening with softwares. Okay, there are, I'm using example which can be relatable to a lot of audience on this call, is something like Photoshop, for example. And again, when camera came, okay, do you think that the camera destroyed the artists completely? Maybe not. They made artists to start thinking differently, whereas camera has been very good for us. Okay, from a professional camera to camera which is coming into our mobile phone, okay, did we perceive it as a threat? No, it has been a blessing rather than a boon. Same thing, Photoshop, if you know, there are filters, okay, which is expediting our whole thing. It is creating possibilities on the fly, which otherwise we will not be able to create. Okay, we have to imagine, and then there is somebody who is going to help us, be it software, be it technology, whatever you want to call it. So that's how we can look at it. And it's just a matter of time. We will see the positive things which are helping humanity, not just designer community, but humanity at large with the AI revolution. Okay, there will always be exceptions, but exceptions will be exceptions. So we should look at what lot of good things are going to happen to us. Okay, and I'm seeing design profession will evolve in a way which perhaps we have not thought, or we cannot imagine as of today. So it is going to emerge. So we have to be very optimistic and positive about this change.
Yeah,
Very well said,
true.
Pramod. Very well said. Absolutely. Bang on, I can say, from a student perspective, is going to be like a helping hand and assistance for us to take right decisions, individually as well as business driven as well. So, very well. Yep.
Okay. So thank you so much, sir. Let's take up with the new question asked by Sanskriti. Sir, does we need to learn coding as well as AR, VR for updated in future?
Okay. First of all, Srishti, who asked this question?
Sanskriti.
Sanskriti. You need to understand which is your graduation. Are you a BCA, MCA, computer science? It can be a little bit of that. Understand the concepts of AR, VR. Within that, there are multiple specializations that comes into play, right? There is a storyboarding. There is a business problem to be addressed. There is a storyboarding. There is visualization, 3D, character creation, and then make it functional in terms of connecting the dots. There are softwares which help us. There are people who can do those development part of it. So there are developers for AR VR. Need not have a coding understanding or learning the coding. If you are keen on learning it, might as well it will be added advantage for a designer to understand the Unity code, so that people will not say that this is not possible in the given situation that you want to achieve that experiences. So understanding of orientation towards coding is good, may not be necessary, but creativity, visualization could be the core part of it. So keep always be appraised about what's happening around. What is the dependency for us to ensure that what you have visualized is deliverable or can be implementable as well. So coding is part of it, testing is part of it, ideation and proof of concept is also part and parcel. A before and after journey. So it's okay. It's not mandatory for you.
But I'll say now you can look at it like a relay, 4x100 kind of a relay. So we should know where the handholding takes place. So if you know what is the life or world of a coder or a programmer or a developer, okay, you will be able to do your job better. Okay, you don't even, we are just talking about coding, but is the coding only thing that we should, which kind of we have to accompany? No, we have to look at the business also. So does that mean that I have to have an MBA? No, but okay, I have to have some empathy with the technologies. We have to have some empathy with the business people, who are investing into it. So what is the context in which we are designing our solutions? Okay, or applying our critical and creative thinking, as Suhas sir said earlier. That is good enough. So it's not necessarily you have to master. And I'll say it is already happening that whenever you are doing something as a, let's say, UI design, okay, the code can be generated in the background without even your realization, and that can be handed over. That's one way to look at it. And the going forward, maybe coding also may not be required for those who have to do it. AI will help them do the coding. The way AI will help us do the designing or come up with creative solutions, it is going to help them also. So we need not worry about it. And look at, we use so many what we can say is the technology based products all around us, right? We are not getting so much I'll say concerned or technophobic about them, isn't it? So why we should get when it comes to our professional life as a designer? Okay, so there will be something which will happen in the back, but we should have clarity. What is that we want from it? Okay, if that is there, I'll say there will be a number of, not necessarily the developers, but AI will make us perhaps put forth possibilities which will help us get that coding done for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Sanskriti, I hope we have answered your question. We have got thanks also from her, sir. Okay, so let's go with the another question. What are some emerging trends of or technologies that are shaping the future of UX design?
Okay. So quite interesting. See, there is no the future trends is evolving every now and then, right? What we have seen in the past was what's happening in the future. AI driven, yes. Gen AI, yes. There are tools which are automating a lot of concepts. There are a lot of design systems coming in play, which which are helping people build consistent products experiences across various platforms or touch points as such. I can say platforms. I don't know. We need to really understand the term. I guess for you guys, this term should be very heavy. The question is very heavy for you guys. I don't know how it came to your mind. The trends are evolving every now and then. Mobile is also moving on. If you say it was a single screen, now it's a flip phone, right? Now even you have LED screens, which are large walls. It's now becoming transparent video screens are happening. So it's both. Experience is coming along with the physical experience together. It's merging, right? There is no physical and digital happening now because you can have gestures, you can have facial recognitions happening. It's moving in way different, like it's invisible nowadays. So yourself are becoming like a digital variables of yourself, and you're walking into the system. People know you, people, the systems will know you, people will understand you, identify you, they will tell you about your likes, dislikes to people around you, and then they can help you experience it. Because I will give an example. I met one of our customers yesterday. They're talking about experience and understanding their customers coming in their hospitality division. It's a hospitality customer. They understand people's preferences, his allergies, his I can say his profession, what activity he does in the ecosystem, so that before he comes to the hotel where he wants to stay, they know what type of food he likes, what he has evolved, and then they arrange those necessary things for him before he arrives. Even his room settings at times, what type of room setup does he like? Does he like a sofa? Does he like a bed? Or how he likes to open space around? There are customization gone to that level. So you can't define anything which is a specific, I can say, a trend, but it's actually merging the physical and the digital together. It's become immersive as such, and immersive in such a way that you don't even realize that is the technology around you. You are in the ecosystem. So even if you say simple, I can say a very simple example. If you go for an event, earlier that was a flex printout, if you remember. Now it's a digital wall, right? You can play anything and everything. Even your billboards nowadays are changing. The static billboards are changing to digital billboards based on the timelines. They change advertising, the frequency is changing. Imagine the business models are also evolving around it. On a peak hours, the 30 seconds billboard advertisement will charge you very high compared to a non prime time of traffic, and the frequency will be different. So it's actually getting very dynamic. It's getting completely fused together. So be ready for it. So Internet of Things, sensors around you, scanners around you are reading about it. Plus your mobile, your location, your positioning is also being tracked. So you as an individual is known to people around you whom you make your data available, and then according to the situations around you will change. So we used to have a virtual reality. I don't know how many of you have really experienced that virtual reality expertise. You get immersed into the ecosystem, but the problem is you lose control of yourself in that, because you get into embedded into the virtual world. But here you are in the real world, but you're still experiencing a lot of other things. You might have seen the sci-fi movies, right? I can say the sci-fi movies are the real future. That's how the trend is evolving. It's just that you don't see anything in the screen. But now projects are happening on air. You know that that's happening, right? So those are happening. So be ready. Be a little bit techno savvy. Be a little observant how things are changing, and you will find the way.
So,
Pramod, you want to add from a
I'll say,
economist here?
the good thing perhaps we can envy for your generation. I'm assuming most of them are in 20 plus minus age group on this call. Okay, that you are born digital. Okay, so you are the consumers of this technology and its trends which are happening. That small gadget in your hands. Okay, is already having many of those trends which are ongoing, and technology, maybe it Google Lens or you name it, Google Street, whatnot. Okay, now you are already consumers of those possibilities. What perhaps is required is that, okay, how will you anticipate them and creatively utilize or integrate in the world that you want to create, the solutions that you want to kind of envision. Okay, and maybe in various verticals, how it can be used. Suhas sir was giving example from hospitality industry. Okay, you can think of like, maybe how it can be done in healthcare industry, how it can be done in banking and financial services industry, how it can be done in education industry. That's how you can look at it. So one thing, as he said, digital is not by itself. So on one side it is going, I'll say, with the physical world, which is becoming like a physical world, and another side it is getting completely virtual. Okay, so there is no physicality to it, and completely virtual solutions which can be developed. So I'll say, how much you can imagine is the thing. And I'll say that you dream for something today, and it will be made happen tomorrow. Okay, I'll take example, perhaps like Star Wars. Okay, when I was or we were at your age, okay, it was a dreamland for us. Okay, but somebody imagined it, and now it is a reality. I'll say, often around us. We are making trips to moon or Mars. Okay, so that's how the world is changing. But somebody has to dare to dream, and that is very, very important. And I'll say, just use what is already. You are consumers of it, but use it as a creators going forward.
Absolutely bang on. I can promote. I can these the generation that is on the call right now are actually may not find the vast difference that we have experienced from an offline print version to the digital is
Right.
ingrained in them.
Yes.
The only thing difference is that they are not, I can say, immersed into the digital world yet, to the extent what AI will help them do that, and how businesses are going to use their information out. So there are a lot of laws, if you think, coming up to control this data privacy and all the stuff.
If I may dare to say this, or may sound a little provocative, okay, we can blame it on our education system. Whatever that knowledge you are having outside the classroom walls were never encouraged to be used inside the classroom walls. And I'll say design is one thing where you are welcome with your prior knowledge or skills and your what else is encounters with digital ecosystems, and use them to create something as part of your academics and later as part of your professions. So I'll say that way you are blessed, particularly with respect to design education.
Absolutely, you never know. One of these can be a disruptor of the industry.
Yes.
You never know
yes.
what we may work.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, sir. I think students, we have answered your question. Let's take up the new question. What exactly is user experience design and why it is so crucial in today's digital landscape?
Okay, I'll give you an example. If user experience didn't exist, what would have happened? Tell me. Can I ask this question the other way around? You know what is user experience, right? It's user is the keyword, and user is who? You and me, or people like you and me. And then
Yeah.
user can be a male, female. Okay. Then their education, their domain, their age group, the role they play, the complexity evolves it multifold. And when we have to solve a problem for a masses without actually going into the deep dive of talking to lakhs and lakhs of people, how do you design for something else? It's very unique. And user experience is nothing. If you imagine you are given a toothpaste in a glass tube, okay, or you are given a brush without a stiff handle, would you be able to use it? Impossible, because you can't squeeze the paste out of it. So what is user experience is actually making it functional for the purpose for which the product is been built for, and how it is being used in a day-to-day life. So in user experience is nothing, it's not only about the digital aspects of it. Keep in mind, guys, user experience is not about only the digital touch points or it at the fingertips. It's also part and parcel of a physical product ecosystem. Simple as your pencil, your pen, your eraser, your backpack, your bikes that you ride on, right? Everything is part and parcel of I can say user experience. What you like, what you don't like, you say upfront, right? That is what, and actually user experience is invisible, I can say. or design itself is invisible. The moment you become visible, either you appreciate it well or you criticize the hell. So that's the power of user experience. And if you don't care, if you see, the population exponentially grown has given us multiple options to look at. But irrespective of that, I can say Pramod can vouch for this, that there are patterns that get evolved after a certain set of volume of people we talk to. If we say on a higher set 25 people we talk to, the answers start repeating. However, large volume of people come in a given scenario, in a given context of a particular action, that patterns and expectations start coming in. We are able to derive solutions around it, which works pretty well. The more testing you do, more talking to people, understanding their ecosystem or the product and service that you're trying to build in the industry, helps you derive a solution which is workable. And for that, it's not only about the experience part, but also the materials used, the context in which it's going to be used, the person who's going to use it, the age group, the gender. All of these are part and parcel of decision making. So user experience is keeping in mind all aspects of business, cost, time to market, as well as its efficiency in terms of solving people's expectations and desires. Is all encompassing is the experience design. It's a very, very, very crude statement, I can say. But if you deep dive, it's all about what people desire. That desire, when it's one person taking a design, is okay in the idea. But when 100 people desire it, and that's a problem that is identified by some smart business person, he converts it to an opportunity, gets a product around it, and launch in the marketplace, which really makes impact. So if you say startups are nothing but those business problems which have been sorted out faster, you can say Uber, right? It's a very good example talked about everywhere in the across industry. It may not be in design industry. Taxis were there. People were required to go from one place to another place, but people were dependent on specific tourist people only to book for taxis, or people who won't have their cars who should travel used to go. But then they said on the go, on the call, because you have those problems of taxi walas and rickshaw walas asking for, saying no to coming for a specific destination, asking for exorbitant price. Plus, people at times never got business where they were sitting idle. They got all these problems together, brought together these drivers, the end consumers of the ecosystem, and they bought a platform to address both the services together and came up with a user experience driven product in the marketplace. Uber doesn't own a single car, you know it pretty well. Nor Ola doesn't own a single. They are facilitator of business, but they influence banking, they influence driver, transport industry, manufacturing industry, as well as the I can say compliance from the RTOs of the respective states, and also the rules and regulations of your highways and all. So it's a experience is born. So user experience is all about all of this together. Pramod, do you want to add?
Nothing in particular, but I'll say now, even though we call it as a user experience design, okay, because that term got coined by certain context and by maybe certain industry. I'll say now, maybe IT industry coined that term, but we should look at it as an experience design. And maybe I will try to put it across with the example of, let's say, healthcare. Okay. You are going on the road. Hopefully it doesn't happen to any one of you, but let's say I'm driving on a street. Okay. I get hit by another vehicle. Okay. And I go unconscious. Okay. And then somebody will take me to the emergency ward of a hospital. Okay. I am unconscious. I am not able to give any details whatsoever myself. Okay. But in that case, I am not a user who is going to kind of play with my healthcare app in my unconsciousness. Okay. But somebody is going to get something quickly about me, maybe something like my Aadhaar ID or whatever quick thing they will get. But from there, they will be able to get lot of information about it. Maybe I am a diabetic, I am having a hypertension, or maybe certain patterns, what kind of treatment I am allergic to. Okay. If that is there, my experience as a patient without me being a consumer of that technology at that point of time is going to be very effective. Okay, so the nurses, the doctors, whatever specialists who are going to treat me, how I am responding to a particular drug or what kind of a dosage, okay, it will happen because there is a lot of things which is enabled for that kind of a patient experience. Okay, so this is how we should look at it. Unfortunately, for a long time, we were looking at these screens where we will interact. We will give certain inputs and maybe it will put back some output for us. Okay, so I'll say that was happening. It is happening. It will continue to happen. But there will be a lot of other things which are going to evolve, which we have to anticipate. So maybe for a healthcare system, we have to make sure that how patient experience is going to be better. And patient experience cannot be in isolation. For that, we have to make sure that how we empowering the experiences or enriching the experiences of the nursing staff, paramedical staff, the medical experts. So all of that has to happen, and that is what, when we call that term experience design, okay, or maybe user experience design in a larger context, will justify it, and maybe that is what we should look at. It's low-hanging target to look at the UI design, or what Suhas sir referred to as a touch point. Wherever we are interacting with the ecosystem, maybe digital ecosystem, it's just a small thing of it. And we can take a number of examples. All our gadgets, what we use, mobile phone, tablet, laptop, desktop, or some kiosk at the airport or railway station, or ATM machine. Okay, these are the things, but I'll say there are very smaller things which are, I'll say, those touch points in isolation. We have to look at it that the entire connected, which is going to create experiences for patients in healthcare ecosystem, maybe the bank customer in the entire banking ecosystem, or same thing, a student in the larger education ecosystem. And that's how we should look at it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So let's go with the another question, a very, very important question. Even I have this question and my team, that what is the difference between user interface and user experience design?
Ross, you want to go first?
Okay. What do you think? What is interface and experience design? User experience is a larger umbrella where UI or user interface is a part of it. Like we just the answer which Pramod and I gave, right? In total, we talked about user experience, and UI is something which is in physical nature, which is the tip of the iceberg, which you see, you touch, you experience it. If you like it, good. If you don't like it, you criticize and put those review comments saying bad, everything. Nobody appreciates good things because good things are assumed to be good and they have been forgotten. And that's exactly what user experience. User experience is something which is easily accommodative. It's encompassing you into the expected user, because nobody uses really. How many times when you download an app, you've really read through the user manual, how to use a function, how to onboard a particular person, how to register for a particular event? Nothing is required because it has been designed in such a way, keeping in mind the understanding of the target audience coming to those apps, interpreting their expectations and driving those. So everything is well thought through. And when we thought through, it's all about user research, understanding the persona, understanding the journeys, understanding the happy path versus a alternative path where people will be able to stumble upon. How to get out of a stagnant situation, you get stuck somewhere, how to still move him out into completing the particular activities, all encompassing the user experience part of it. And then how to make that actual action of onboarding of a screen or registration process that you see on a screen with a form elements, check, uncheck, type in, sign in with Google Form or a Facebook or Insta ID, is all about the UI or user interface. Interface is nothing but what you see, you interact with is user interface. But when you're talking about user experience, it's all encompassing everything in terms of your ecosystem, in which I can say everything that around it to make you do the activity efficiently and pursue you to do those activity is all about experience. It can be even marketing communication, campaigns, your billboards, your print ads, everything is part and parcel of the ecosystem to bombard you with that information on, educate you about the product services. Your search engine mapping, SEO, SEM is also part of the user experience that has to be considered while launching a product in the marketplace, which will drive traffic to the particular app. and then make you work. So all those are the interfaces that get your attention to a physical point, and then decision making, how to make that things happen, influencing you to take the decision, is in user experience. So as I said, tip of the iceberg is UI. Lot goes underneath, which is the user experience all about. Pramod, you want to take it? Any addition from your side?
Yeah, maybe I'll use again an analogy of some ecosystem. So, and nothing specific to a brand name which I'm uttering. Okay, let's say ICICI Bank. Okay, is an experience for me. Okay, so sometimes I may call their 1-800 number. Sometimes I may physically walk into the bank and interact with the executive. Sometimes their representative may come to my house and tell me what all are the different products there. So all these are interfaces in the physical world or in the digital world. Now the interface, digital interfaces, what we typically refer to as ATM, is an interface. Okay, because I am transacting with the bank using that particular interface, which is available in the form of or in the avatar of ATM machine. Okay. Second thing is, perhaps when I go to www.icicibank.com, okay, and I log in there and start doing various transactions from there, maybe much more than perhaps what I will be able to do it in ATM, because the context might be different. So that is also user interface. Through that, I am interacting with my banking system. Okay. Third is, perhaps I am having a mobile app for ICICI Bank, and through that I will do few things. Or sometimes maybe I am using that to kind of make my digital payments. Okay, so all these become interfaces. But the holistically, what is happening between me and ICICI Bank as a ecosystem? Okay, I have to design for that entire thing, which is user experience. Okay, because I cannot have disconnected experiences. I have to have very smooth connected experiences across that ecosystem. So that is the user experience. Whatever individual thing we are doing, where we interact with the system, is user interface. I saw one message popping up. What is the difference between interaction design and interface design? Maybe I will like to have one more term which is perhaps related to that in this context, and maybe I'll draw parallel from the physical world for it. So there is a lot of information which is there with ICICI Bank. Okay. How will I interact with that information? Okay. So I need some mechanism by which I'll be able to interact with that information. And that's where that interface comes. So we interact with information, again, I'm saying loosely saying, through interface. So ATM is my interface to withdraw cash or check my balance, whatever that exists between me and ICICI Bank. Parallel I will give, and now that is what is happening in the physical world. I'll give an example on human machine interface kind of thing. You know, I have a car. Okay, car has a capacity to drive me from place A to place B. Okay, that's the function of it. But how will I do it? Okay, through the interface. So I'm having interface through accelerator, maybe I'm having clutch, I'm having brake, I'm having steering, I'm having indicator stick. Okay, I'm having wipers. So all these are interfaces through which I'm interacting with my vehicle as a system, which has a larger thing to drive me from place A to place B. Okay, so that's another way to look at it. But now there is a combination of these two which is happening in terms of very smart things or tech things. Okay, let me try to articulate it with example like smart kitchen. Okay, so smart kitchen is a culmination of so many things. You know, there is an interior design which is happening. Okay, but it is not static. Okay, maybe I am having a what we can say is the temperature controls built into it. I am having a lot of gadgets like refrigerator, maybe food processor and whatnot. Okay, now they all can be interconnected. I can be in the office and I can still switch on the freeze, or maybe I'll say I can control the temperature of my house, all those kind of things. So this is how you can look at that the user experience, but that individual thing is an interface. So the way you interact, I'll say any controls what we see in a physical world is the interface. So the way we control the speed of the fan, the way we switch on or switch off the lights is interface. So all those are interfaces, but and using interface, we interact with that particular system, typically with digital, and now going onward with physical or completely virtual?
Fabulous. I guess bang on. I guess hope people's thought about interaction, interface, and user experience would have sorted out, because these are all, I can say, tactical things that you're talking about. Interface is something is very simple where you interact, is where the channel or a medium is interface. Like you talked about the agents, talk about the buttons, you can the car. It's all about the interfaces which help you connect. Okay, cool.
Okay, so we have answered the question and Mr. Amit has got it. So Sanskruti is having the another question. She needs a roadmap. Kindly suggest some UI UX books, design books.
Samskriti, for the first question, books I will, and maybe even Suhas sir will recommend a few. But you are from which place? If you can type quickly.
Sanskruti, can you tell us where are you
Okay,
from?
Thane. We can loosely
She's
say
from
New
Thane.
Mumbai. Okay. Now let's say you want to come to Ujjain. Okay. So you are clear what you want to do. You want to travel from Thane to Ujjain. Why? Maybe perhaps to take admission at Avantika or come and see what is this. Once that is clear, how part is something which can be achieved in a number of ways. You know, you may go to Santa Cruz Airport and take a flight to Indore and come to Ujjain. You may drive down in your own vehicle and come down, or you may take a train from Mumbai to Ujjain. Okay, so there are a number of ways. So there is no one particular roadmap. Okay, as far as you are clear about what is that you want to achieve, even in terms of your learning goals or professional aspirations, there can be a number of ways in which you can achieve. Okay, that's my thing. Maybe Suhas sir can extend. There will be a number of materials. Books is one way to look at it. There will be a lot of online resources, a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of blogs, which can happen. I see Suhas sir has already put dot on one of the early books, and maybe he can
only
elaborate.
books people should read. People should only read this book. That's enough for them to start with.
Yes, but it is by Don Norman, one of the veterans who actually coined this term called user experience. Okay. So he's the person, he's the legend in this area. Okay, so you can search for Don Norman on the web and you will get to know a lot more. So this is one of those, for the lack of what I'll say, Bible for experience design. So that's one. If you want to understand in terms of analogy or vocabulary, there is another book called Elements of User Experience by J.C. James Garrett. It's a very easy read. You know, I'll say no, this the design of everyday thing can give a very philosophical take on experience design, whereas this Elements of User Experience can give a very tactical take. Easy read over the weekend, you can read it, but the kind of vocabulary or the you can use that to have further conversations with others, including your clients going forward.
So guys, you can, there are plenty of resources available online to learn. There might be something which might be contradictory in terms of what they mean and what they, because interpretation of everybody is different, but then there are a few basic principles, consortiums which are available. We can help you do that. So there are a lot of courses that are available. I guess if let's go to the methodical of learning the masters, because you may not be the designers from the education, from graduation standpoint. So learn the principles, get your hands dirty. That's the best start of learning the experience design or design itself, and then apply it to the various channels that you want to work upon. I think then your books and learning and concepts will be clear. So you search it and you'll get it. The best thing is to start with those elements of design, best design in everyday thinking. And there are a lot of forums that are available. Even if you go for Adobe, they have a community of designers, creatives over there. So you can get into that. Then there is Nelson Norman Group, which is a extremely reputed design consortium, or I can say a group of companies who do consulting as well. They have books, they have courses, they have certification. But it's too early for you to get into those mode. But this can be a parallel track that you can have along with your degree.
Okay. So I have a question here, sir, that industrial design students and communication design students are now getting job into user experience design also as a digital product designer. So can you please elaborate about this?
See, product design, communication design, part and parcel of design anyways. The design fundamentals don't change irrespective of the stream that you fall into, right? So
Mhm.
user experience and digital experience is a channel in which you display or you use your adapt your skills in that form. Communications, it can be online, offline communication also. It can be media also, which is broadcast media, right? So communication can be in any form. It can be voice, it can be video, it can be your text, right? Or your, I can say, screens or a print,
Mhm.
variety of things. So communication is all about how you communicate that message across, keep people informing about it. But the principles to why to communicate, whom to communicate, what to communicate is anyways required to understand the product and service you want to go to market. If you're able to do that, you can easily design the product and services as well, because it's meant for a specific users, for a specific domain, for a given ecosystem. Again, the same thing. And product is also applicable because you design a product and services based on the user needs of a product, again, an ecosystem. So it's a fungible stream. But the problem is the product designers has an understanding of aesthetics, and I can say in terms of physical textures and aesthetics and functioning of it more than the experience part of it, because that's a product experience. But now it's getting very, I can say, thin line between what we talk about product experience. If the product is good and if it's not being communicated well to the user, it will not be sold, right? And if it doesn't have an experience, it will again will not be sold. So irrespective of any stream that you belong to, super specialized is going to be like a T, right? You have to have an understanding of all, but you have to have one T. So if your communication is one of the verticals, product can be one of the vertical, communication can be one of the vertical, but design understanding remains the same. So digital is anyways given. So you should be able to understand. Now you be understanding the design fundamentals, apply it, and you are there. So nothing to worry. I think everybody, irrespective of the streams, fundamentals remain the same, and the thought process matters in this case. So the approach towards product design, approach towards communication, approach towards digital, I can say underlying principles remain the same. Hence, the focus may vary. So easily adaptable. It's fungible. And
Oh,
we as an
that's really
industry accept anybody from those streams. But then when we promote a branding, we use a communications person to be on a leader seat. If it's a new product
Mhm.
idea that has to go to market, we have a product designer to come into play and play on it. But then when it comes to a digital interface for a particular product or design, then the digital engineer has to come in, because then it doesn't have a touch and feel. But there are digital products also. There are very digital expert design is required. So I guess that's the whole objective of it.
If I can
Yes,
write
yes.
on your
Thank you so much.
analogy of a T thing, okay, for me, this generalist thing is like your aptitude or a mindset as a designer. Okay, as far as you have that strong thing, then your deep expertise will vary, so maybe you at one point of time you may have it in a product design, so at one point of you may have it in a digital product design, or maybe I'll say you never know what may happen in next 20, 30, 40 years of your career. Okay, but if you are having that mindset or aptitude, I'll say nurtured well, then you will adapt depending upon various reasons. Okay, and maybe you can. I want to kind of support it with what has happened with the engineering education. Okay, I'll say your bhaiyas and didis, and maybe for some of your parents also, they must have graduated in one particular stream of engineering, but they made it to
I think we
So
lost
your
him.
voice got break.
Yeah, so let me check. Am I better now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You're audible, sir.
yeah. So what happened with engineering education, and how many engineering students were recruited into IT industry, why? Because they had a mindset which was very rational, very, what I can say is left brain thinking. And then it was just a matter of learning the syntax. Okay. And which also has changed. Maybe at some point of time, it was maybe command line interface like COBOL and other things, DBase and later maybe it became C, C++, Java, whatnot maybe, and we don't know what it might come tomorrow. How they are able to survive is because they have got the right mindset which is required for that kind of a profile. So you need a designerly mindset or aptitude. What role, again, I'll say a prefix, suffix, I'll say that you will be able to adapt well.
Absolutely. Also, I can say that there are, even if you say specialization or product or communication, within communication, there are multiple streams: graphic design, copy, layout, right? All those things are matters. Again, a specialization is there and super special over there. So there are multiple things. How you go deep into it, it goes widening.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. You've answered my question. I understood the basic concepts. And now we can go with the other question, which is almost related to the questions we have already answered. That students want to know about the tools we are using in UI UX design. One student is asking about the UX design in Avantika. That everybody is having UI UX design, but how our curriculum is designed over in Avantika University. So I think Pramod sir, we can tell them about the subjects we are covering, the basics we are covering under UI UX design in 4 years or 2 years of studies.
Yeah. So what I'll suggest is instead of going into a specific title of the courses, okay, we can look at it what you are learning. So one thing I'll say, you are getting the aptitude which is required as a designer and particularly UX designer. So that's one. Second is you get to know about the process, end-to-end process, how you should approach it in a very systematic way. Okay, so maybe starting from research, maybe then be it qualitative research, quantitative research, then getting insights from there, then maybe framing the problem in a right way. Then once we have a problem, then we have to move to the solution space, from problem space to solution space, then develop different ideas. In between, you have to empathize with your various stakeholders, not just users, but the business. What are the business challenges, the kind of technology landscape that can be factored in, and then ideate accordingly. Then you have to kind of validate those ideas. Maybe you have to initially, I'll say what we call as a divergent thinking. You don't have to worry about whether it is possible to implement or not. You have to go ahead and do daydreaming. Okay, you have to go wild on your ideas, and at latter part of your ideation, you have to look at it in a very pragmatic way. Okay, how much time it may require, what kind of resources it will require, will it be meaningful, exciting for your users, all those things, and then prototyping it. So creating those early from low fidelity to high fidelity prototypes, because design is always very iterative and incremental profession. Okay, so that's how it will evolve. And finally, when you have something tangible, you should always test it with your intended objectives and audiences. So that's I said methodology or a process part of it. You will learn various tools. One such thing we encourage is Adobe Creative Cloud as a basic. So it is a agnostic to any particular stream of design. So it helps all the designers, no matter which specialization you are getting into it. But if you are talking about specialization in UI UX, then there is something called as Adobe XD, Experience Design, or there is something called as Figma. That's another popular tool for UI UX design. And there are many more, but I'll say the tools doesn't matter because they will come and go. There are some concepts that you will learn, like, okay, there is something like you are having a lot of information, so let's say you go to ICICIbank.com. There is so much that is there, right? Maybe several products and services put into one URL. So how to organize that information? So there is something called as information architecture or task modeling. So there are various courses which happen. A couple of things which are important is, besides your core courses, you will have a lot of electives. Okay, and I assume majority of the students on this call are from masters. Okay, so for them, they have a varied backgrounds in their undergrad. So somebody has done BTech kind of thing. Some of them have done something with creative careers like architecture or Bachelor of Design, or maybe BSc in animation. So those kind of things which are still allied with the Masters in Design program. And there are some people who are coming with BA, BCom, BSc, BBA, okay, those kind. So the electives help in terms of wherever you are lacking or anticipating what is your prior knowledge and what you would like to complement through the form of elective. And we have a lot of design projects where you actually kind of put all these things into practice. Okay, apply all your knowledge and skills to create something which is, I'll say, relevant for the consumption in the marketplace. So this is overall thing I'll say. And more or less any design school you will find similar approach. So we are not radically different in that. Okay, what will differ is that how we put this journey from admission to graduation.
Yeah. So I hope students, we have answered all your questions. We have covered almost everything which is related to UI UX design, about the curriculum at the university, about UI UX design as a career, right? What all things you should understand prior to join this course, which all books you can access, right? Now, I think, sir, just now I've got one question. Hi, Aniket this
Aniket
side.
has,
I have
Aniket
been
has,
working.
I saw his question. I'm telling you, this perfect combination of cybersecurity and design. Actually, I have a requirement right now, but I don't have a person who has a design with cybersecurity as, as a background to it, how it works.
Yeah, only thing I'll say is he did not apply there from Avantika.
No, guys, anything that you learn in the past, even if you are part of a IT or I can say can applying, because when you're doing a cybersecurity and you want to get into design, you saw some problems in working while working in the cybersecurity field, how day basis. If you're able to bridge the gap, there is a scope. So cybersecurity, imagine the product that are coming on a cloud platform. Qualys is a company, Veritas, Symantec, all I can say the antivirus companies, big time companies are there who are going to require people with understanding of cybersecurity who understands design part of it to enhance their product experiences. Even your quick heal on the screen that you use on a laptop or a mobile phone requires that cybersecurity understanding. How you, it's see probably you don't have to expose cybersecurity to the end user, but ensure that he understands the importance of security on his devices to make it happen. So I guess irrespective of the thing, your logic and your understanding of the domain is never goes waste. Apply it to translate into your profession. That's it.
Yeah, I think very nice example what he gave. You can look at some of the micro opportunity, relatively micro opportunity like antivirus. Okay, and another thing I have seen, I worked on one project for a company called Naras. Okay, which is looking at the threats which perhaps a particular entire community or an entire nation gets, and how you can have cyber security put in place. So that's like an enterprise version of cyber security. Okay, or super enterprise version of it. So there are a lot of things. Particularly, I'll say, Aniket, you had a background in cyber security, but you can look at it as that the peripheral understanding of that ecosystem, what you have, the digital ecosystems, that is something which you can bring as a strength that you will bring to the class. Somebody else, maybe somebody who has done a BBA, may bring economics understanding. Somebody coming with psychology will bring. So you will have this cohort which can be multi talented, okay, and it will complement each other. And you can, I will say, rather all of on your undergrad. Okay, whatever learning you have, you should not think that, okay, I did not make a career in it, or I did not pursue higher education in it, so I will park it aside or put it in the, for the lack of a dustbin. Okay, rather you should see is that whatever that prior knowledge, understanding, and whatever your academic experiences, how you can build on top of it while you are pursuing your masters. So I'll say that will certainly give edge if you are coming with a technology background. But I'll say that even if you are coming with other background, you should have that conviction that has a place to kind of be incorporated in your master's program?
Bang on. I guess like Aniket, there may be people coming from testing part. People might have done a BBA part. Of course, nothing goes waste. Testing where you know how people are consuming the product, how it can fail. So you know how to design it so that it doesn't fail. Simple as that, right? Accessibility is another funda you can talk about. Business, finances, accounts, how things have been captured. All small, but in the e-commerce business, payment gateway, your EMI is all thing nothing but a banking, how it works behind the scene. Your taxation is there incorporated. So every company has a finance department who works on it. But then when you have to handle the financial part of the ecosystem, one is the consumer side which you see, but there is a back-end admin side of it which talks about invoicing and taxation for the government, and their own company itself need an interface for it. There are enterprise apps that really run behind it, which is domain specific. Finance department, HR department, infra department, IT department, procurement department, n number of it. And everybody needs software, everybody needs systems in place, so everybody has to use it simplified and make it efficient, so it doesn't go waste.
I hope we have answered your question, Aniket. So he's giving us thanks. We have got one more question from Omkar. He's a master's student. As a UX designer looking to delve into the realm of XR design, for my master's, any insights on seamlessly transitioning between these fields? Additionally, I would love your perspective on anticipated scenarios where XR is poised to become the new standard.
A very cutting edge question, I can say. But XR is next wave anyway is happening. But the problem is it has its own dependence. You see, Google Glass was the problem, right? Which was dropped because it has its own pitfalls, because you get distracted when you're actually on the move. So there has to be physical and a digital safety that comes in, that will drive this interactions or interface, or I can say the extended reality part of it. It is also largely will be used in the training ecosystem a lot, or building a digital twin before people get into complex risk taking abilities, like you can say nuclear power plants or research labs for pharmaceutical companies and all. So before getting any of the critical functions, extended reality, virtual reality would definitely help getting into that space. And then again, everybody will have a digital twin soon. So you are going to have a metaverse, but still metaverse was a coined word, but then it has not picked up the way it was supposed to, because it has its own nuances. So people didn't really see a value, because people don't live two lives at the same time. But yeah, you never know, your generation or next generation after you might have a parallel life in the digital world, which functions totally differently, which will have influence on your physical world also. But then it's still not been commercialized to the extent what it can be. There are some spaces where the media, or I can say the entertainment field, would get into that mode, or complex ecosystems where you can say defense, it can be nuclear power plants or high voltage electrical components where people cannot be sent directly, or freshers cannot be allowed to go there before they're certified and all. That will be little restricted. We can also see a application of it in terms of maintenance of some heavy equipments, turbines and all, which are large. So XR might help him to do that, or educate a particular person to do it, while he's physical as well as through digital connect with the experts on the fields in various locations. So yeah, there are ways, because robotics and all are nothing but XR, right? Indirectly, if robotic surgeries are happening, somebody sitting in London is doing a surgery in India seamlessly. What is it? It's all about the extended reality. It's all about research. It's all about digital rendering of the current situation, and then actual what's happening on the ground. So it's a fusion of physical and digital, where extended reality would definitely make it possible. So it's still not used as a commercial way to the extent than the pharmaceutical or healthcare industry is using for now. Pramod, you want to add?
No, I think you said on spot with couple of examples. My take on any emerging technologies, will find its initial place in entertainment industry. Okay, you look at it, anything which is new, you'll find it practiced and kind of penetrated into entertainment. but it will take a while to find relevant applications or adaptations in serious verticals like healthcare, as he said, and maybe that remote surgery is classic case, and you'll find many scenarios like that elsewhere also. Simulations is one classic thing, so maybe like you are having a flight simulation. You cannot afford to put a flight or a plane as well as a pilot at risk. Okay, and that's where that extended reality kind of simulations can come handy. Maybe sometimes it might be 100%, but sometimes it can be used just for the context of practicing or mastering that particular job or profession. So there'll be enormous possibilities. I'll say all of them we cannot even think of today, and it is just a matter of, because as he said, there will be a lot of legal things also, so I can do certain things in XR or AR VR world. Okay, but there are some legal challenges and it may not be made open to everybody.
And also one more thing I wanted to say, that getting XR into a everyday business is going to be a little expensive yet, because the gadgets that are required are not affordable. I know we also say that phones were not affordable, but people are buying 1 lakh rupees or 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees of iPhone as well. But eventually, that to make that so popular into business as usual, then the device has to be made more affordable, and every system has to be, catering to that channel as well, which needs a lot of effort to make it happen. As you're having it mobile, you have to deliver it into the XR or extended reality ecosystem, or devices also will be a little expensive. It's still not pocket friendly.
Yeah, I think technology will become affordable as we go ahead. That's not the thing, but what should not stop us is from dreaming of those scenarios. Yeah. So I think technology will become accessible and affordable. It's just a matter of time, and that's what we have seen all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, sir. We are not having any further questions. Students, if you have any questions related to the admissions, you can let me know. I'm putting my number over here. And I hope we have answered all your questions related to the academics and digital experience design. So thank you so much, Suhas sir and Pramod sir. Let's wind up with the webinar now. And if these guys will be having any further questions, we can let you know and we'll answer those questions with the students directly.
Yes.
All the best.
Thanks, Paridhi. Thanks, Suhas sir. And thanks all the participants, and best wishes for whatever that you want to pursue.
All the best, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone.
Have a great evening. Yeah, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.